further ado, I think you can take it away, Billy.
Great, thank you, Erin. And hi, everyone. My name is Billy Cohen, and I'm part of the TaroWorks services team. Today, I'm really excited to show you what we have in store for our TaroWorks 6.2 release. I'm especially excited to share with you the new streamlined ways in which you can manage your mobile users that we have introduced in this release, along with a few other feature updates. For those of you that are new to TaroWorks, TaroWorks is an offline mobile field services app that helps organizations coordinate with their field agents working in the most remote areas on Earth by extending Salesforce.com functionality. So here are the major feature updates that we have in this upcoming release. So firstly, the streamlined ways in which you can now manage your mobile users. From TaroWorks 6.2, we are now compatible with devices running on Android 10, and we have also made improvements to our image metadata retention. So as I've mentioned, the TaroWorks 6.2 release streamlines your mobile user management. We're really excited about the enhancements made to this process, as this feature will increase your efficiency and effectiveness as a TaroWorks administrator at scale. So firstly, with mobile user creation, so the steps needed to create mobile users has been reduced. Previously, using the standard Salesforce functionality, mobile user creation included numerous steps spanning many screens and objects. However, from TaroWorks 6.2, you can now create a mobile user from one place using just one screen from the TaroWorks Mobile User tab. So let's jump into a demo of this. So from your TaroWorks application in Salesforce, you would click on the TaroWorks Mobile Users tab. You would then click on New. This will open up a new TaroWorks Mobile User record where you can now fill in the information required to create a mobile user. Some of these fields are required and some are not. So we'll go ahead and create one. So first the salutation, then we can do first name and last name. We'll then select an account. So in this case, I'll select the TaroWorks partner account, which is the standard account that comes with TaroWorks when you install it. However, some of you may have other accounts that you use for your mobile users. We'll then fill in the email. So this is the email that the mobile user will receive their password to, as well as when they needed to reset their passwords. You can add a phone number and mobile number if necessary. We'll then add the alias. So the alias is up to eight alphanumeric characters that needs to be unique in your org. We'll then add the username. So in this case, we'll use email address of the mobile user as the username. This username needs to be unique across the whole of Salesforce. We'll then give the mobile user the profile. So again, I'm using the standard TaroWorks partner user profile, but you may have other profiles that you have created. And finally, we will choose the language for the mobile user in which they will be using the TaroWorks application. You can then click Save. Okay, great. And now we have created a mobile user. So all of the same records that have been created up till now, so from TaroWorks 6.1 and below, are still created from this process in TaroWorks 6.2, so namely the contact and user records. However, now this is all just centralized into one screen. Also, much like previous functionality, some updates from the contact and user records that have been generated will also flow back to the TaroWorks Mobile User record. A full list of these updates that you would expect to see reflected on the TaroWorks Mobile User record can be found in documentation on our support website, which is taroworks.zendesk.com. So we've also made enhancements in how you manage your mobile users. We've streamlined this process. And this includes, firstly, public group membership. So this is the process of adding or removing mobile users to and from public groups. So with respect to TaroWorks, you can assign jobs to public groups rather than to individual users, which makes the assignment more efficient. You can also customize sharing and security settings at a public group level. Then secondly, mobile record assignment. So this is the process of assigning records from within your database to mobile users. From a TaroWorks perspective, these records can then be selected by the mobile users in the drill down hierarchies of jobs and used in subsequent tasks. One quick thing to remember here is that when you assign a record to a mobile user, all of that record's children will also be assigned to that mobile user. We've also added the functionality of being able to view which jobs are currently assigned to a mobile user from that TaroWorks mobile user record. So again, let's hop into a demo. So we will click onto the TaroWorks mobile users tab. We'll then choose a mobile user. So when we open up the TaroWorks mobile user record, we can see on the left here all of that user's information. And on the right here is where we can make our updates. So firstly, if we're wanting to add this mobile user to one or more public groups, we'll click edit under the public group section, choose the public groups we're wanting to add this mobile user to, and then use the right facing arrow to move those groups from the available to the selected columns and click save. We'll then confirm the action. And similarly, if we're wanting to remove the mobile user from one of these groups, we will click edit again, select the group from the selected column, move it to the available column and click save and confirm our action. Then if we scroll down this TaroWorks mobile user record, we'll get to the mobile record assignments section. Now to assign records from an object that has not yet had records assigned, we would click add object. We would then choose the object we are wanting to assign records from. So in this case, let's choose the account object. And then we would select the field name that we want the records to be displayed with. So let's choose something that makes sense, like account name. We'll then click assign records. Excuse me. Then if we are not wanting to see all of the, in this case, the account records, we can add a filter so that we are only shown specific account records or account records that fulfill a certain filter criteria. To do that, you would add the fields, the operator, and the value. You can add multiple filters by clicking on add filter, and then you would go ahead and click display refresh records. In this case, we are not going to add any filters. We'll just click display refresh records. We can then select all of those records by clicking the checkbox at the top, or we can select individual records and click assign records. We'll then again confirm the assignment. Now we can see that 4 account records have been assigned to this mobile user. If we are wanting to assign more account records or unassign a couple account records, we would click this downward arrow next to account and click edit. We can then, if we're wanting to assign, say, this gene point record, we would click that and click assign unassigned records. Now we can see that that's been unassigned, and then to assign more records, we'll click assign records, add a filter if necessary, click display refresh records, and then choose the records we are wanting to assign. We'll then confirm, and now on the TaroWorks mobile user record, we can see now that there are 7 account records assigned to this mobile user. Lastly, we've got this assigned jobs section, and now this shows.
Billy, maybe just before you move on really quickly, just want to add one question we got from that was actually based back on the public groups demo. If we have many public groups in our org, will they all show up on this screen? I think one thing that you can't see here yet, but if you have more public groups than would be displayed in this box, that a scroll bar will appear on the right. So the answer is yes. Let us know if that didn't answer the question though. All right, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to get that question out there before we moved on to the next topic.
No problem at all. Thank you for the question. Great. So again, in the assigned jobs section, we can then see which jobs are currently assigned to this mobile user. And this is much more efficient than the process before, because before what you would need to do is go to the jobs tab and click on the assigned to groups button on a specific job, and then you can see which mobile users or public groups this job is assigned to, whereas now you can see it from the record. Awesome. So, that's great. So far what we've done is, or what we've seen is the managing individual mobile users. But with TaroWorks 6.2, you can also manage your mobile users en masse. So this includes public group membership. So you can add or remove multiple mobile users from the same public group or public groups at the same time. And similarly with mobile record assignments, you can assign or unassign the same records to multiple mobile users at the same time. So let's go back and demo this. So again, we will click on the TaroWorks Mobile Users tab. We then need to choose a list view that is not recently viewed. So in this case, we'll choose all. The reason for that is that these buttons of public groups and mobile records, which we'll use now, are not included in the recently viewed list view. So let's start with public groups. So we can either select all of the mobile users in a view by clicking this checkbox at the top, or we can select the mobile users individually. In this case, we'll select all of them. Then we can click on the public groups button. Okay, we can then see on the left-hand side here are the mobile users that we have selected. And then to add these mobile users to a public group or public groups, we would select the public groups in the available column, click on the right-facing arrow into the selector column, and then to add, we would click add, confirm. Now, as you can see here, these mobile users are part of those groups if they weren't before. And then similarly, to remove mobile users from public group or groups, we would again select the public group and click on remove. Then in terms of mobile record assignments, so again, you would select the mobile users you are wanting to do this mobile record assignment for, click on mobile records. Again, you can see the mobile users that we have selected. We will choose our object. Again, we'll choose accounts and the field name. Then we can either assign or unassign records. So let's start with assign. We will then add a filter if necessary, click display refresh records, and then select the records we are wanting to assign. Click on assign records and press OK. And then similarly to unassign records to more than one mobile user, we would select the mobile users, click on mobile records, choose the object and fields again, and then click on unassign, display and refresh records, and then choose the records to unassign. Great, so you can also add your own custom fields to the TaroWorks mobile user object. And this, in conjunction with creating your own custom list views, can help you better manage your mobile users en masse. So say in this example, say we are wanting to make mass updates to only the mobile users that are Ugandan farmers. So what I've done, I've added a custom field to the TaroWorks mobile user object called farmer location. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create a list view that will only show me mobile users that are Ugandan farmers. So in order to do that, we would click on this gear icon here, click on new. We would then name our list view, call it Ugandan farmers. You can then select who sees this view. So in this case, I will be the only one. Click save. Next, what we want to do is select the fields that we want to display in this view. So again, you would click on the gear icon, click on select fields to display. In this case, we're wanting to display the name, the farmer location, and the username. Click save. And now we've got all of our mobile users. The last thing we want to do is add a filter on farmer location to only show us the Ugandan farmers. So you would click on this filter button on the right here, click on add filter. Then we're wanting farmer location to equal Uganda. Click done and click save. And now we have a list view that only shows us Ugandan farmers. Now it's a lot easier for me to just click on the top here, and then I can make updates to all of the Ugandan farmers at once. Great. So I'm going to quickly go through some other improvements that we've made. So as I mentioned, from TaroWorks 6.2 and onwards, we are now compatible with devices running on Android 10. And we have also made improvements to our image metadata retention. So specifically, previously the location information of the image would always be uploaded from TaroWorks to Salesforce with that image. However, from version 6.2, this location information will only be uploaded if the process of uploading occurs within 15 minutes of the capture of that image. So what this ensures is higher location accuracy when looking at the location in Salesforce, because you will know that that location is, if it is there, it was taken within 15 minutes of the image capture. Okay, so finally, what I'm going to go through is a few upgrade best practices. So firstly, and this is more specifically if you're upgrading through multiple versions. So for instance, if you are currently on TaroWorks 6.0, you would need to upgrade through TaroWorks 6.1 and then TaroWorks 6.2. If this is the case, we advise your mobile users to work offline so that they don't have to waste data in downloading 2 APK files. And then also on our TaroWorks support website, our Zendesk site, taroworks.zendesk.com, we have release notes for every version. We recommend that you read through these, and then when you're performing the upgrade, we have very detailed upgrade documentation that you need to follow step by step in order for your upgrade to be successful. Also, within your upgrade, you need to upgrade all of your relevant profiles, and the relevant profiles include all of the profiles that your TaroWorks mobile users are on, as well as your TaroWorks backend users are on. If you are new to TaroWorks, then and you haven't gone through an upgrade process before, you can again go to our support website, taroworks.zendesk.com, and in the top right-hand corner, you can submit a support request to us to help with this, and we will walk through on the phone with you step by step the upgrade process, so that when we have our next release, you can do it yourself. So thank you everyone for joining today. Yeah, as you can see, this is a really exciting release. I'm now going to open it up to you if you have any questions about any of the functionality included in this release, or the upgrade, or any comments. Thank you again.
Thanks so much for that, Billy. Yeah, as Billy said, you can either type the question in the chat or feel free to raise your hand if you have a question. Have one coming in. Okay, so if I already have existing TaroWorks mobile users, what do I need to do to make them TaroWorks mobile users in this version?
Okay, great question. So if you have TaroWorks mobile users or mobile users existing before you upgrade to TaroWorks 6.2, we handle this in our upgrade process. They will then be converted into our new TaroWorks mobile users.
All right, and just let us know if that didn't answer your question. Are there any other questions? If not, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Billy, for the presentation. Oh, one just came in. Okay, this is from Gladys. How about dynamic operations in 6.2?
Do you want to maybe unmute yourself, Gladys, and you can ask your specific question? What do you mean with respect to what?
Yep, let me just unmute you. Class, you can introduce yourself and maybe clarify your question, or feel free to do it in the chat if you prefer, but I'll unmute you if you'd like. Gladys, you should be unmuted.
Okay, thanks so much, Billy, on this great presentation. So my question regarding dynamic operations in version 6.2, this is much specific. Recently, when we upgraded to TaroWorks 6.1, we noticed that the timestamps, the start time and end time of our surveys, it remained just stagnant. It was not moving. So I don't know whether this is also the same with 6.2 or how can we go about this? Thanks so much.
Great, thank you for your question, Gladys. I think for that specific issue that you are having, I would recommend that you write into our support team, and we can look into your specific issue that you're having with TaroWorks 6.1 with the dynamic operations. But in terms of dynamic operations in general, we haven't changed the way that they work with 6.2.
Okay, great. Thanks.
No problem.
And on that note, I think we've made an announcement in the last release, and there should have been email well, but just to reiterate, we are changing the way our support process works. So very shortly, there'll be a notification going out about not accepting support tickets via email anymore. Gladys, yeah, definitely we can help look into that. But you'd go to our support site and click submit a request in the upper right-hand corner. And then our support team will get on that. Any other questions from anyone? Oh, I see one from Pablo. What do we need in order to get the update to 6.2? So the installation links should be posted in the coming week. So there's nothing special you need to do. So by contrast to 6.1, where we had offered to upgrade our customers if you made the request by a certain deadline, we're going back to our normal upgrade process starting at 6.2, so you can upgrade yourself as soon as the link is posted. And Pablo, let me know if that didn't fully answer the question. Great questions. Any other questions from anyone? All right, if anyone thinks of anything else, feel free to shoot us your question or inquiry from our support site. Thanks so much, everybody, and have a great and safe day.